What's going on, New Gaming Order? We back, coming at you for our post WWE pay-per-view reaction results show. This is take 2 because I fucked up. I had it.
You fucked up.
Streaming.
You fucked up. You fucked up.
Yeah, I had it streaming on the NGO X, and this is a lot of juggling of codes and all this other stuff. So bear with me. So going around the table, what I want to do is actually introduce a good friend of mine. I had him on my friends list since like from way back when, and considering it didn't dawn on me, hey, you know, we need extra staff members and people to help out. So give us our introduction, man. Guest of our show.
2.5 years I have been your friend. I am Leoka Lion, aka Nirvana Sparkle. I run a YouTube channel known as Code Equestria, where I do My Little Pony reviews, but I occasionally dabble in the world of wrestling. I have been a WWE fan for 28 years, non-stop.
That's what's up.
So,
This man should come to your house and give you a handshake.
I thought he was gonna say give him a hand, something. Never mind. Anyway,
I was G-rated and you had to go into that realm over
this
there.
is not a G-rated show. This is New Gaming Order. We give no fucks.
TV-14.
We used to be known as NFO, but we got the F out. But anyway, thank you for joining us today. You know, hopefully we can have you as a recurring personality for our podcast, WWE related, and then going forward. So we're always looking to expand. Free play mode, Demizzle, one of my oldest friends. We always button heads, but it's always mutual respect. Dave, plug your show, man.
Yo, what's going on? It's Demizzle Farizzle, also known as David from the free play mode, and I do apologize for the lack of content as of late.
What?
It's just been real hectic at my job, and I've just been coming home and going the fuck to sleep. But I promise there will be a new UFC prediction video up within the next few days covering the Andy Pettis fight, so please stay tuned for that. And I have a feeling, Alex, that we're going to be agreeing a lot on this show. We're not going to be butting heads that much.
Yeah.
I feel it in my bones.
Yeah.
I feel it.
But you know what? Don't jinx it. We probably might have one thing that probably was the reason why we had almost 800 plus views on the SummerSlam thing. And I thank you for that. So with that, my partner in crime, Nelson, co-CEO, co-producer of this product, Nelson Del Rio. Intro, please.
What's up, everybody? It's somewhat late for me in the sense because I gotta go to bed and get up in like 6 hours.
Stop
But hopefully we could get a good podcast going about some wrestling, and let's see what people think about these matches.
Alrighty. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to one of our viewers, Black Dragon. We were talking on Facebook during the pay-per-view, and it's when we get to those matches, I'm gonna shout him out then because he made some good points while we were talking. But without further ado, let's get started. New Gaming Order, the Kickoff show, Stardust. I missed this match. I was having connection issues, so I'm gonna serve as the operator for this portion. I'm gonna give Demizzle the floor first, then our guest, and then Nelson. But you know, Demizzle, tell us what happened in this match, and then we'll get everybody's point of view.
I thought it was a good match to advance the Neville and Stardust feud. It was a good show to kick off the whole pay-per-view on the Kickoff show. It wasn't anything like extremely special or anything like that, but it was a good solid match. And it ended with Stardust getting the win over Neville with the whatever he's calling his finisher now, but it was a solid match. I'm glad that they're doing something meaningful with the Ascension by having him be like Stardust's henchman, so to speak, instead of having him out in limbo, because I do think that they brought in the Ascension the wrong way, and that when they were on NXT, they had the Ascension essentially beating up everybody because NXT has a really, really deep tag team division, and they couldn't do that once they brought them up to the main roster. and they couldn't decide what they wanted to do with them, so they essentially fell into limbo. But I'm glad they're using them in somewhat of a meaningful way. So I want to see more of the Stardust and Neville feud going forward, but I ultimately predict that Neville will come out on the winning end of this feud.
Ah, okay. Lily, what are your thoughts on this match? And could they have booked it any better, or what are your thoughts? Because I'm learning the event, so your thoughts.
And by the way, just for a little bit of information, the move is called the Galactic Crossbow, I believe.
Yeah. It's still like a Cody Crossroad or something.
Yeah, it was the Crossroads, and it was the Galactic something or another. Then he changed it again, so I didn't know what he changed it to.
But I am in total agreement here. I think this is best for Stardust and the Ascension, especially seeing that the Ascension put themselves in the doghouse a few months back for bringing up the Legion of Doom and Legendary Tag Teams. That's why they were practically jobbed via bringing that up. But essentially, hopefully, this is finally the chance for them to grow in a still growing young tag team division. After all, they are still, to this day, the longest reigning NXT tag team champions since the birth of that division, being for about a year. So we know this tag team is talented, and we know Stardust is talented, a former Intercontinental Champion in his own right. But I do agree that Neville will ultimately win out the feud, and hopefully this will lead to him getting a mid-card title opportunity.
Okay. That sounds very good points. Well placed. Good stuff. All right, Nelson, your thoughts on the kickoff match?
Well, the kickoff match was just a standard whatever match, in my opinion. You have Neville and the Lucha Dragons and the Ascension teaming up with Stardust. Again, it was a pretty decent match until like near the end, where you saw something kind of different this time around, and not many times in the WWE have they utilized this tactic where, let's say, Neville was going for a move and he kicked, I don't remember which the name of the members, I think it was like Connor or whatever, and he kicked him, and then Stardust saw the opportunity and he thrusted one of the wrestlers into Neville, and like basically used his own man as a sacrifice, like a piece, to actually get the actual win in the match. So that
sounds fitting, considering, like, sacrificing his man to get the overall the objective, the bigger picture, so to speak.
But now it makes me wonder if the Ascension is actually going to be okay with Stardust doing that all the time now, when the Ascension is normally known for being a good tag team within NXT, them getting ported over to the main card now, and they've been jobbing to a lot of other people as of recent until now.
Okay, so this is a step in the right direction for the Ascension, and kind of like, okay.
I mean, I don't really agree with that. I think they should just drop Stardust and just go back to their normal shit. But it's whatever. It's the writers of WWE are very weird.
Yeah, they have strange booking habits, and considering that the tag team division, you got the Dudleys now in the mix. Do a tag team revolution, much like the successful Divas revolution. You know what I mean? I don't see why they can't buff that division. I know Triple H has saved it at one point, where the tag team division was just like ill existent for a while, and it was just, okay, do something. So we'll see how the booking works out. I wish I got to see the match. I'll probably check it out after we're done with this product. But any alibis on this match before we move on to the next?
Absolutely not in terms of the match, but you can see with the Dusty Rhodes Classic over in NXT, tag team wrestling is getting a heavy push by the WWE on both fronts.
Okay, and they need to treat the main roster with the same, TLC that they're doing for NXT. Rhymes.
I got something right here.
Okay.
the point about Adrian Neville moving on to a mid-card title program ties in perfectly with the opening match.
Okay, well, moving to the next match, we have Ryback versus Kevin Owens. Now,
Owens, fight.
Unfortunately,
Owens,
I couldn't get a better picture due to the time constraints. But with that, I want to give Demizzle the floor first as to what happened.
Dang, that's like an instant spoiler.
Yeah, I know. I tried.
Oh well, as well. Go ahead.
But, yeah, my boy Kevin Steen, also known as Kevin Owens, is your new Intercontinental Champion, and I like the way the match was worked because, as you know, you've seen Kevin Owens fight John Cena, and it took John Cena, in my opinion, it made him look like a much better wrestler than he actually is. And Kevin Owens did the same thing with Ryback. He worked a very smart match with Ryback, knowing that he couldn't do the same things that he could do with John Cena, because Ryback is a heavier opponent and a less willing opponent to take those big type of bumps that John Cena did take. And what he did was very smart. He used classic wrestling psychology in that he targeted a specific body part in order to wear Ryback down. And for Ryback's credit, he actually sold that very well. The body part that was targeted was the shoulder, which is a key element to any power guy's offense. So it worked out very well, and I'm happy the way the match turned out. It wasn't like a work rate special and a technical masterpiece, but it was a very good storytelling within the match itself. And Kevin Owens went over in typical heel fashion by waiting till the referee was out of view, because he was standing in back of Ryback and Kevin Owens as Ryback had Owens up for the shell shock and raked Ryback's eyes and then rolled him up for the pin in classic heel style. So I did like how that played out, and they did play that up in the color commentary. I love JBL for this. He did play it up. He did mention the positioning, and I am starting to warm to JBL as one of the color commentators, because he is that guy that's paying attention to details like that, and I greatly appreciate it.
And you know, when me and Shinwar met him at Comic-Con, like, he's a no-nonsense type of guy, but if you do like certain matches, it seems like he's steered to talk a certain way, you know. So it's to his credit, he did really great tonight, especially with the way you described it. But he still steered. If they gave him the freedom like Joey Styles and JR, you know what I mean, I think he can do a lot better. But I think he's probably capped off a little bit, so to speak. I don't know. You may agree or disagree, but that's just something where, yeah, that's cool. He did that in the later matches, but I don't want to, spoil it just yet. But Lily, your thoughts?
Well, I have to agree with David pretty much 100%, and it was very strange because this move didn't even have a single finisher to its name. Not a single finisher was used. Neither was the pop-up powerbomb, nor was the shell shot, and it showed Kevin Owens' technical depth for being such a big, powerful guy, and he is a great storyteller. Ryback will have his chance at being a mid-card champion again, to be sure, but I honestly believe Kevin Owens needed this win.
Yes, he did. I agree.
He needed this match as clean as a whistle, because seeing after his win against John Cena, he went on a losing streak. Many WWE fans were starting to wonder if he was getting the old Cena burial. And now we know that he's not. And expect him to be the Intercontinental Champion probably all the way to TLC, if not the Royal Rumble. He will represent it just as well as he represented the NXT Championship, and also expect Sami Zayn to be put in the position for one of the rivalries when he comes back up to the main roster after his injury in about 3 months or so.
Okay, okay. And now, you got like the NXT, the new blood, surrounding themselves around the titles with feuds on the main roster. And this was an integral strategy that I know Triple H is behind. Now it's like you're slowly bringing up the new generation so that other folks can take a knee. So very smart move. I don't know. Kevin Owens plays that heel role so well. It makes me literally hate him. But I know that's just a character he portrays, but he's doing a good job at it. So, Nelson, last but not least, what are your thoughts? And I know you're an Owens supporter, so I want to hear some good things.
Well, of course, Kevin Owens was going to win the championship. Like, I'm not going to try to beat around the bush here. Ryback wasn't really doing much with the title to begin with, because if you have noticed, when he did claim the championship, I would say 1 or 2 weeks time, he got injured and he wasn't able to defend the championship at the
he fell into a Daniel Bryan void.
And apparently that wasn't a result of too much heavy lifting, and he overdid it more or less, because he tried to overcompensate for Big Show's weight, because during the match at the pay-per-view, Triple H wanted him to do some crazy maneuvers and moves and stuff like that some people aren't physically able to do. So of course they just made him look bad, and then on top of it, he tried to work a story with Kevin Owens. Now mind you, Kevin Owens has been doing this for some time now. He has a good record from beginning till now. Ryback had a so-so okay start coming out of Tough Enough, coming on to as one of the what is that stupid goddamn group he was a part
Nexus.
of? The Nexus.
The Flexus?
And then coming into this. He has a pretty good record too, but again, Kevin Owens did outperform, yet even so in this basic match that he was a part of, though he didn't land the powerbomb finisher that he would wanted, he still came out on top by doing a little, dirty wrestling, which is by eye raking, him while the ref's attention was towards Ryback's actual back when he was trying to do his finisher. And he took advantage of it. But do I think this was the best move in story? Yes, because Kevin Owens would actually perform and still be a good heel. Ryback can now physically get himself up, work along with Kevin Owens to build a good in-ring chemistry and make something even better out of it.
And you know what? It speaks volumes of somebody knowing that, hey, you know what? If he's not around that much to drop the title, someone like Owens who's more active on the roster, because for a period, Daniel Bryan did the right thing and walked away. I don't know. Hopefully, it's not the IC title curse, people getting hurt or something. Right. I knock on wood, but Ryback, just get healthy, come back.
As always.
One thing to follow that up is, I think characters like Ryback are more compelling when they're chasing titles rather than holding titles, because when they're chasing titles, it gives them more of an extra dynamic, because they're trying to, especially against a wrestler like Kevin Owens, who can wrestle multiple styles. He can wrestle the straight up technical style, he can be a brawler, he can be a cheap dirty heel, and that's what big lumbering face guys need. They need that heel to chase. Like they're more better suited for chasing titles, but when they have to hold a title, there's only so much you can do with that character. Whereas when you're chasing, it gives them a whole wider range of things that you can do with the character.
Okay, I agreed. I remember you and I had this discussion. Like, it's just their shelf life is not as long lasting as others, because it's like the dimensions are very few, very as to what you can do with them, So with that, any alibis before we move on to the next card?
I would honestly say just Kevin Owens, just keep doing what you're doing. WWE, just don't fuck him over like you normally would do, because he can outperform more than half the fucking roster there, and you need to actually let these people do what they do. Like,
they won't let them cut loose though. It's a corporate thing.
But the thing is, if they let everyone, not just him, everyone cut loose, I guarantee the entire brand would just get uplifted in revenue and in popularity, because you're seeing the same shit over and over. And I get it, you're targeting selective audiences and you're not really trying to say that on air, but you are. Your main demographic is from kids from like the ages of 6, and you're trying to demographic all the way to let's say 27, 28 for the young crowd of like the newer generation, like John Cena, you know, your Roman Reigns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then for the older people that's, you know, beyond that, like the OGs that watch wrestling, you know, they have like the Undertakers, you got the Stings, you got Triple H reminiscing around as the COO, you know, stuff like that. So I get it, but in me, towards a business route, you need to just cut loose, make everyone fight on the same level that NXT is fighting, and I promise you we'll get so much better content with even fewer matches.
Like the Attitude Era.
Yeah, because NXT is able to do it for what, an hour and a half time, and they always get good numbers.
Okay.
And his name is John Cena.
Oh my God, that you know, on a quick sidebar, the freaking Tony Stark is like, hey, you know, the real the real plan for Iron Man, and then he's just like, I'm John Cena, and Divizzle had a ball with that on my Facebook. Yeah, it was just too much. All right, so moving on. Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev. Again, I missed this match because I was having connecting issues, so I'm going to let Divizzle start off on this one, and we'll go in the same order. Go ahead.
The match itself, it started off very slow, but towards the later stages of it, it picked up and it became a very good match. And there were a lot of good false finishes, a lot of good technical wrestling. Rusev did a good job of selling Dolph Ziggler's offense, but I wasn't a fan. I'm still not a fan of the overall storyline of the feud between Dolph Ziggler, Lana, Rusev, and Summer Rae, because it's really dipping into Jerry Springer and Maury Povich territory.
That's really the soap opera portion of this sports entertainment.
I get that they want to tell the male soap opera, so to speak, but there's a point where you have to go, okay, this is just too stupid and too cheesy.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to do is they're trying to have Dolph Ziggler, like they were originally gonna have Lana be kind of suspicious of Dolph Ziggler and Summer Rae, but now what they're trying to do is have Dolph Ziggler turn it around by like playing it up and hitting on Summer Rae, kind of innocent, not so kind of innocent, trying to put doubt in Rusev's head. But I just don't like that they're forcing these two wrestlers who were very good wrestlers in their own right to do this kind of he said, she said.
They don't know what to do with them right now. That's what is happening.
And I feel these two aren't the right wrestlers to do this angle with. You could be doing so much better with these two. There are other wrestlers you could waste this kind of throwaway angle on. So
well, you know, remember during the days of Edge, you had, you know, Vicky Guerrero. Like, you know, you had some people that could play it up, you know what I mean? And it's not to say that Edge had a lack of in-ring performance, but Edge was a better actor, you know what I mean? So it's like, you see this stuff. I remember when Vicky Guerrero fed Edge to Undertaker for a rematch in Hell in a Cell, or, you know, years ago, and that was a funny segment, you know, I was like, holy, like, what the heck? You know, this, it kind of is, I don't know, Rusev seems kind of clumsy.
That works because Vicky Guerrero was in a position of power.
Yeah.
And Edge, while her boyfriend in storyline, like, if she felt she was getting screwed over, she would feed him to, like, The Undertaker or to Brock Lesnar or somebody like that. And then it was like, why are you doing this to me? I didn't wrong you. And then it would be a whole thing like, oh, I'm so sorry. And Yeah, it worked in that dynamic, but in this dynamic, it doesn't really work. It's not really compelling, you know?
I get you. You know what? 100% agree with that, you know. But as far as the match, you said it started
I
off
thought
slow.
the match itself was slow in the beginning, but towards the end it picked up, and it turned out to be a very good match.
Okay. One thing that I was talking to our staff or our panel about beforehand, the absence of Lana. You know, I think that kind of took a lot of steam out of this because she was injured training. So it's like, okay, they kind of had to do like some hurry up and damage control to kind of keep the audience or who was following the storyline interested. You know, is that safe to say we agree on that, Demis?
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay, and Lily, your turn.
The match was good, but please, for the love of God, take this storyline, put it in a box of matches, and put it in the fireplace, please.
No. Wait. You have to take it, turn that bitch sideways, and shove it straight up somebody's candy ass. You know, we gotta, you know. Go ahead.
Can we please end this? And by the way, for historical references, this is not the first time Dolph Ziggler has been in a storyline like this. He did this with Vicky Guerrero and AJ Lee.
Yes, he did.
During his world title reign the first time. And it played out almost note for note as this, I don't even want to call it a bathroom break storyline, has been going on. I mean, yes, we have two great wrestlers. One, we're just wasting our time with Lana 2.0, which, by the way, the end of the match had Summer Rae make a heel turn, if you get my drift, by throwing her shoe, I think, in the direction of Dolph Ziggler, but
No, she tried to throw it at the referee, which was a set of high heels.
Unbelievable.
She tried to throw a shoe at the referee, and the referee moved, and she ended up hitting Rusev with a high heel, and Rusev, for his part, looked like he got shot by a bullet to the extent where not the over dramatic like pain reaction, like the what the fuck, really?
He's like, bitch, you ass, sit your bitch, smack your ass.
I mean,
he should have went Juggernaut on her or something.
Right. We've seen these two wrestle 9 times over the last 2 months. That's how much these two have been in one-on-one competition. I am just sick of it. Let the hoes wrestle.
Oh my god.
That's what I want to see.
You know what?
The two women wrestle, please.
Did someone call for the Godfather? Get on the
whole train.
Yeah.
All right. So, Nelson, what are your thoughts on this match and the storyline?
The storyline is garbage. I'm just gonna be real with it. They just have nothing to do with these two. Apparently, Dolph Ziggler's having a time of his life. You know, messing around with Lana, messing around with Summer Rae. You know, apparently he's showing off like he's a ladies' man. He do whatever the hell.
He's the new Rick Rude, and Shawn Michaels kind of rolled into one. So
you know, so he's gonna do that. But as of the actual match, it was alright. It could have went better in my opinion, but again, they've been fighting for so fucking long, they don't know what the hell to do with them anymore. It's just like, alright, you win one, and you win one next, and then you win this one.
Yeah, Dolph won tonight, right?
Yeah, so most likely the next time, this guy, Rusev, he's probably gonna win the next match with them. But again, I don't know how long this is gonna go on, because so far it's been almost more than a couple months now.
It's been about 2.5 months.
Look at that. So it's still going strong, and I hope they give it a different direction where Dolph Ziggler actually does something better with himself, and probably Rusev just becomes like I don't know, not a face, but like he tags up with someone else, and it grows into more than just like a fake ass love affair shit.
It's like an episode of Oprah. you get a win, and you get a win, and you get a win, and you get a win.
Unbelievable. All right.
I'm done. But just to randomly put it out there, I don't know if you guys have seen this video or remember this. Do you remember when the Power Trip, Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin was beating the shit out of the Hardy Boys and Lita?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually showing that on Facebook right now. Like Austin just stunned Lita and
Oh
all
yeah.
the other shit, and Triple H and him was beating the shit out of her, and I just thought I'd bring that up.
Well, Austin was on fire in his prime. There's no one else could do that character as well as Steve Austin did.
On a side note, though, Rusev is a really cool dude. Like, I'm subscribed to Xavier Woods' gaming channel on YouTube called Up, Down, Down.
Yeah.
Dude, man, Rusev is a cool, chill dude.
He's like one of us. Like,
he's a hardcore gamer. He has a MAME cabinet at his house.
Unbelievable. You know what? We got to see if we can interview these two and interact with these guys, because when they're actually in the New York, New Jersey area, if I can pull them to the side and talk to them and, get like a quick interview for this product, that'd be great. I wonder how many views we would get for that. But
yeah, man, we don't normally plug other podcasts on this show or other YouTube channels, but yeah, Up, Down, Down, definitely give that a check out, because Xavier Woods and the WWE wrestlers who play video games are on there, and it's real fun, especially the Gamer Gauntlet.
And it's gaming related, so why not get the exposure give the exposure to them. So with that, moving on to the next match.
New Day Rocks. New Day Rocks.
All right, we got the Dudley Boyz versus the New Day. Now, this is when I started watching the pay-per-view, when my connection was starting to come into play, but it's I feel like we're getting trolled. Triple H with the whole New Day thing, and now The Mizzle immediately said the New Day is growing on him.
They are.
Well, it's
unbelievable.
It's of the recent actions that they took place, because if you notice, when they first came, they was getting booed because it was just a typical random ass tag team. Yeah. And then on top
it was like you were supposed to like them.
Yeah.
But they like, as you said, like, you think that Triple H was trolling Big E and Xavier Woods and Kofi, but I think they turned it around and made the best out of a shit gimmick, and it's actually become a lot of fun. It's like their matches aren't like the most spectacular matches in the world, but they're
a bit unfair to say the least. It's got that 3-on-1.
Yeah, but
3-on-2, or
Yeah, but the New Day themselves are fun to watch, especially Xavier Woods being the hype man outside, and it's like he comes out.
New Day doesn't suck. New Day.
Exactly.
Like this.
And he's got the trombone. He plays the Final Fantasy fanfare on the trombone, like.
I can't believe. You know what? And he's pretty good. And he's pretty good. And then he did the Rocky, and they would start booing him.
Yeah, man. It's fun. See, it's fun. It's not like, this is the type of thing that's meant to break up the seriousness. And the New Day fills that role perfectly.
But as champions, though.
Well, come on. It's like, even heel, like, not every heel tag team has to be serious. Like, you can have, like, if you remember back in the 80s, the Fabulous Freebirds were not a serious tag team, but they held the tag team champions for so long because people enjoyed their work. Now, the New Day isn't on the same level as the Fabulous Freebirds, like with Michael P.S. Hayes and the gang, but they are fun to watch. They're entertaining. Xavier Woods came out looking like Rufio from Hook. Rufio! But it was fun. Like, the match itself between the Dudleys and the New Day was nothing special to write home about, but they did have some fun segments in the match, especially with Xavier Woods going through the table at the end. Sorry, folks, the table wasn't saved. I signed a petition. I wanted to see the table saved, but it didn't happen.
Unbelievable. You know what? You see, this is a fun disagreement. I can't believe you, Dave. You going to church with the New Day. Unbelievable.
New Day rocks.
New Day on New Day smoking rocks. All right, Lily, your thoughts on this match?
New Day is fun, but I am not a fan. I enjoyed seeing Xavier Woods eat some wood. That's probably the first time he's gotten wood in about 3 months. But I stand the reason. They are a great tag team, and they are entertaining, if not annoying.
Yeah.
But the Dudley Boyz put on a great match, and they sold them very well, like they're supposed to do. Naturally, the Dudley Boyz are going to get their 10th WWE Tag Team Championship.
Oh yeah, that's inevitable.
In a tables match, no less. Wouldn't surprise me. And the fact that the Save the Tables gimmick is now nothing more than a hypocritical hashtag. But New Day, for 3 great wrestlers on an individual level, 2 of which are former Intercontinental Champions, and 1 with a PhD, or at least going for one. The New Day is a superb tag team. They may not rock, at least to me, but at least they make the tag team division interesting, and my love of tag team wrestling really shows here. So props to both teams involved. Can't wait to see more.
Now, before I give Nelson the floor, I think we're getting trolled. As much as they're fun to watch, they're so annoying. You want to see them lose the title, and I think that was kind of like that's the draw. Like you're gonna watch them to see who's gonna take the titles from them. It's kind of like the whole Mayweather effect. Unfortunately, that never happened, but it's like you wanna watch that annoying fuck get what's coming to them. You know what I mean? So that's it works in many cases. It's just like, okay, yeah, you want to see this person lose or this team lose or whatever. Hey, it's not gonna happen, or it'll happen when we're good and ready to allow it to happen.
That's what I like. Like, I know they're gonna get their comeuppance, and I'm looking forward to it. But they're fun to watch, and it's like they're not building the New Day to be this unstoppable tag team, which is great because they're always on the verge of losing, yet they find some way to pull it out with their silliness, and I appreciate that.
They're like the Dan of the tag team division. So alright, so with that, Nelson, your thoughts on this match before we move on?
Well, I just have to say, it was a pretty random match, but again, the New Day just makes it fun, because again, the Dudley Boyz had their reign already. They've been in the WWE for such a long time. They recently just came back, I guess for the shits and giggles of it. And the New Day is what's hot right now, whether if you like it or not. They're funny. And it's entertaining to see Xavier Woods just like troll around and interfere and just make stupid remarks and stuff like that. And they even got a gimmick where they're in the turnbuckle and you see Big E stomping the shit out of somebody. Then you tag Kofi Kingston in and they keep going back and forth. Like they have their own little gimmick. So it's like it's nothing wrong with them whether they have the titles or whether they don't, but it's just, again, it's just fun to watch for now until they're taken seriously, and so far it's just all fun and games, so it is what it is.
Okay, now with that, the results of the match, the Dudleys did win, but they didn't get the titles. New Day retained. So with that being said, I definitely see this going forward, possibly even to Survivor Series, and or if they do it at the TLC pay-per-view event, if they do it this year or so, but we'll see. Alright, so moving on, I remember Demilzo and I were talking, and Nelson was in on this conversation, and how I was very happy to see the direction that the Divas division has taken. And a lot of folks, I got a poll where I saw this. Some people are not happy that Charlotte was getting a title opportunity. I am a Charlotte supporter. Not just because she's Flair's daughter. The fact that it's bringing legitimacy, it's bringing those OG guys who were like, hey, you know what? We're gonna take the Divas division seriously. It's not that bathroom break match setup anymore. You know what I mean? If you heard the crowd pop tonight for Charlotte, you know, I was like, man, you know what? They went in the right direction, and it was a fitting booking for Night of Champions for Charlotte to do well. So I wanted to give Demizzle the floor first, and then go in the same order. Your thoughts on the match tonight, and you know, are they succeeding in their mission to make the Divas division formidable?
Yes, they're succeeding in making the Divas division formidable. I wish they would exclude the Bellas from it because they're not very good wrestlers, and it kind of pissed me off when they had Nikki Bella not only pass AJ Lee but pass her in the way that she did, and it just was the total lack of respect for what AJ Lee did, because Nikki Bella began her reign by defeating AJ Lee, and AJ Lee, while she didn't start off as the greatest wrestler, like from a technical perspective, she became one of the better female technical wrestlers out there, including like from WWE, Shimmer, Japan, Ring of Honor. She became one of the more watchable female wrestlers out there. Even she could, like, if she were in TNA wrestling, she could hang with the likes of Gail Kim and Awesome Kong and Alicia Flash and all those girls. So I still miss AJ Lee, but I understand why she's not in the WWE. But to have Nikki Bella pass her in the way that she did was just so disrespectful.
It was disrespectful. It's a big FU to Phil Brooks, and you know, to me, it was a dig.
It was.
Nikki Bella did not deserve that. She's in her in-ring. I get like why people hate Cena so much.
And let's be real, like she was only in that position because she's fucking John Cena.
But that's also you know what? This is just like that Macho Man thing. You better stop it, Dave. Stop it.
No, I'm being real, dude.
Like,
because listen to this. Like the original plan when the Divas Revolution began was to have Charlotte show up and beat her on her first night on Raw, just like Paige beat AJ Lee her first night on Raw. But John Cena vetoed that, and
he has that kind of pull. What?
He went like, "Hey Vince, she sucks me off real good. You can't let her go out like that."
You can't say that. Unbelievable. I wish I had the beat button.
Like she never gives up. She never quits.
Oh my God! You know what?
Beep, you gotta let her
beep.
have the title.
Hold on, I don't have enough beeps for that. Oh my goodness! I should splice in that Macho Man Hall of Fame thing that you did when Anomaly was still with us. Oh my goodness!
Go for it. Go for it.
But you know what? Here's the thing. I think that it was more like, you see the whole charity thing. Like Nelson had made mention that females look up to Nikki Bella, and I'm a guy. I just don't see the.
What the fuck are they looking up to her for?
Well,
like everybody in the world knows that Nikki Bella fucks John Cena.
No, but
why?
You gotta understand.
Why are you so stuck on this?
You gotta understand it from a perspective of, like what I said earlier, with the guided audience that, you know, they're trying to target. Nikki Bella, though she is not a great wrestler or a good wrestler, period, still have the little girls look up to her, because I'm gonna just put it like this: whether if it's gonna sound fucked up or not, the way how society portrays of what a fit female looks like, or the standard that how every female looks like, is Nikki Bella.
Dude,
realistically,
have you seen Nikki Bella on fucking Total Diva? She comes off like a total twat.
I get that.
Unbelievable. Hey, you know what? New Gaming Order audience, the views of our panel does not reflect the corporate side, what me and Nelson.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is, Dave, though, like, she looks like a model, whether if you don't agree with that or not.
She does look good,
and a lot of people think like, oh shit, I want to look like that. I want to have like perky boobs and a perky butt, and you know, be going out. Yeah, she does. And you know, go out with like a top name WWE wrestler and stuff like that. A lot of people actually follow up to her because, again, when Nikki and Brie Bella got in from the Divas Surge, they have been sweeping, not the competition, but they've been sweeping, like, you know, the Divas division as of like popularity, and
they get the attention,
looks.
so to speak.
Right, they get looks. They're not there to be, oh, I'm the best diva, because if that's the case, Brie would have been women's champion such a long time ago.
I think Brie is a better wrestler.
But again,
Between
that's
the
not
two.
the case. And Nikki Bella did get a lot of training, as which you did see in the match today. She actually did more wrestling probably than she did in her entire
reign.
streak.
Yeah.
An entire streak.
Yeah, but-
the best wrestling as of tonight.
But the bar is set so fucking low for her. It's like,
But maybe Charlotte brought it out of her, so to speak, because
on
I think
now.
Charlotte's a better wrestler.
No,
come
no,
on, like
what
no.
happened was
Like
Charlotte-
Nikki has wrestled much better wrestlers than Charlotte. She's wrestled AJ Lee. She's wrestled Paige. She's wrestled
Okay.
like, and like no matter what, she's looked bad with those people in the ring. And like this match against Charlotte, well, I'm glad that Charlotte won. It wasn't like the most spectacular looking match because Nikki Bella did do better than she ever has, but let's be real here. The bar for Nikki Bella was so low, it was placed on the ground, and then at this point tonight it was raised to kneecap high, which isn't like that big of an improvement.
But I just think, in my opinion, because I'll use this as my turn real quick, and then we'll let Lily go. I just think that Charlotte jobbed the portion of the match to Nikki Bella so she can look good on her way out of losing the championship.
And they added drama too. Like,
yeah,
you know,
that's just my opinion. I don't know if Charlotte has that much wrestling experience due to the fact that I don't really follow up on her as much as I think
she's
the
the
other
daughter
divas.
of one of the.
That's another reason why I'm kind of skeptic about this, is because since she's the daughter of the 16-time champion / 2-time Hall of Famer, you kind of just gave it to her.
No, honestly,
in a sense.
I was saying early on, I think the Divas division needed this. They needed
Well,
this.
they needed this, but not Charlotte, in my opinion.
Who else? If you think about it, the legacy that
Who
she's
else?
no,
Who
think
else?
about it.
I
No,
can name
no,
3
Nelson,
divas
listen.
right now that deserve it more.
The angle that I'm referring to is okay. Those guys who don't take the Divas division seriously, or associate, oh, that's Charlotte Flair. Okay, let's pay attention to this. And I think they succeeded in that, because if you heard the crowd, they were like into the match. You know what I mean? Just on the sheer
'cause
merit.
They didn't want Nikki Bella to win, so of course they was going to be into the match more than expected. But again,
But
I just don't want
also
someone-
the wave of Flair behind it. It's like, I think that it I think served to help, not to hurt the division.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
I, in my opinion, I just would rather have someone that has not been brought in just because, like, oh, this is, you know, it's me. Come on, guys, just let my daughter get the fucking title. Like, I don't like that luxury.
Well, on Raw, it did seem like that. Like, I'm sorry, Rick. Da da da. Like, you know what? Again, I'm agreeing with the both of you. Like, Demizo made a good point. She shouldn't. Brie should, or Bella should not have broken AJ's record. I felt that was disrespectful, and just. I think that they're trying really hard. You know, it's not for a lack of effort. They're trying to make the Divas division legit. You know, and I'm happy where it is right now. But I don't want to overshadow Lily's turn. But what are your thoughts on the Divas match?
Thank God there is a wrestling god. Can we get these strippers out of my WWE, please?
No. Hold on. We gotta have a little bit of salt and pepper in the WWE.
Dude, if they're gonna be eye candy, at least bring back someone like the Godfather, so they're just eye candy and not actual wrestlers.
Oh, we can't do that anymore because of Make-A-Wish Foundation. We're PG. We can't have those type of characters.
Let's
no
be
more.
real. Them kids ain't interested in meeting some damn wrestlers. They want some titties in their face, man.
What
they
the
about to
heck
fucking
is this?
die.
This is like the free play mode is on some other stuff today. But Lily, continue.
Right.
Seriously, I don't imagine some sick kid going like, I want to see John Cena. I want some titties in my face. I'm about to die.
What kind of kid? We gotta talk about this offline.
But,
Go ahead.
Thank God that Charlotte won this match, because I was getting sick of Nikki Bella so much that I would have jumped out of my wheelchair, jumped out of the crowd, and assassinated Nikki Bella myself at this point. My God, this is a get rid of CM Punk from history and kind of work here. And unfortunately, AJ Lee suffers by association.
Yeah.
Yes, Charlotte Flair is a great wrestler, former NXT champion. She can play the part. But if you do not have Sasha Banks be the next diva up, I am going to go ballistic.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna. Demizzo had mentioned that before we went on air. That now you're gonna start seeing the new blood fighting over these titles. So they're going in the right direction. So
I mean, thank God for the win. It adds another notch on the Flair belt. And yes, the win was clean. No twin magic, no dirty finish. Clean win. Although I think she is a little bit injured, so that has me a little bit concerned that this title reign may be quick. But congratulations to Charlotte Flair, and please do not mess this up. You're already putting them not in WWE 2K16. Don't mess it up in real life.
Now, you know what? I don't want to go on too far of a tangent, but what was the deal with that? I know I was going to put that on Thursday's podcast, but was it because it was too late, or like why can't they put them in as DLC? Like, what the hell's going on?
I don't understand that, to be honest.
I have no idea myself.
You know what? On Thursday, I'm gonna do some research, and then we're gonna bring that up. And Demizzo, you're always welcome to participate on that. But that's my bullshit on that. You know what I mean? Because we're in an age where if they're not in the game, make DLC. Inject them into the fucking roster. It's not that hard, you know. But I'll find out. But moving on to the next match, let me cue this up. Bear with me, guys. All right, the 6-man tag between the Wyatts and what's left of the Shield. All right, so Demizzle, you got the floor.
Well, I was not happy with who the Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose chose as their partner, and I'm a huge Chris Jericho fan. I love Chris Jericho. I've defended Chris Jericho since he was a cruiserweight in WCW when Rey Mysterio was getting lawn darted into trailers by Kevin Nash. I've been a Chris Jericho fan since ECW. I've been a Chris Jericho fan since him wrestling in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I've been a Chris Jericho fan since he wrestled in WAR, Wrestling and Romance in Japan. And I've been a Chris Jericho fan when he was wrestling in Mexico. So, needless to say, I love Chris Jericho, but I don't think he was the right choice here as the partner for Roman Reigns. But
the crowd loved it though.
Yeah, it was a good yes, Chris Jericho's back. Great. He's off tour from Fozzy, and he's gonna wrestle for 4 months before he goes back on tour. Yay, Chris Jericho. But I would have rather seen someone from NXT get the call up like Samoa Joe, who Dean Ambrose has a history with on the independent scene, because for those who follow independent wrestling, Dean Ambrose, also known as John Moxley, and Samoa Joe wrestled each other all over the independent scene, and they put on great matches. So I'd have rather seen that, because Samoa Joe is a part of NXT. I would have also liked for them to bring up Ujon Nation from NXT and gave another NXT person some shine.
Okay. Now, I remembered my rebuttal for that was like, you know, let's say they just brought up an NXT person, right? It could have gone one or two ways. Like, yeah, awesome, yeah. Or, like, okay, who is this guy? Okay. And they wanted people to care about the match. That's why I think that they put Jericho, because it was going to be a guarantee that people are going to be happy to see him.
See, but that's the thing. If you would have brought up Samoa Joe, like, just like people know who Kevin Owens is when he first debuted, people know who Samoa Joe is, and you would have got that same you would have gotten the reaction that you were talking about as, yes, he's here.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you
I've
wouldn't have
arrived. Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't have had people going like, who the fuck is this guy? Because Samoa Joe has been around for long enough that casuals and hardcore fans know who he is.
Yeah, I think that WWE just wanted the guarantee. They wanted the guarantee. It's like it could have been, you know, either way. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I concur with you. I get that they should have had an NXT person fill that slot, but they wanted to ensure, you know, a good crowd pop. And you see, with the way the match concluded, I don't want to pop that, but you finish your point, and then I'll give Lily the floor.
But as far as the actual match is concerned, Braun Strowman really impressed me by his development, because he's learning how to work a match and he doesn't appear to be very unsafe. He's still very green, but he's shown that he's at least competent in the ring. And Roman Reigns is coming off like $1 million as well as Dean Ambrose. And but I don't like how they had Chris Jericho sort of do a quasi heel turn on him at the end, because it takes, like, I'm still interested in seeing where the Wyatts and Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose end up, but now you have this peripheral Chris Jericho thing on the side, and it's going to take away from that. And what I want to know is, like, who are they going to get to stand with them that's not going to walk away when the chips are down?
I want Seth Rollins to come back.
Yeah,
man.
that's where I think this is ultimately going to lead to, is that they're going to have Seth Rollins be that third guy. They're going to have like a Shield reunion.
And you know the crowd would go crazy, and that could lead up to what some folks on Wrestling Insider or Inside the Ropes, there's predicting that there's gonna be a Triple H Seth Rollins square off at WrestleMania. So if you can kind of bust him up from the whole Authority and just have him, you know, I can see that happening. You know, what do you think?
I agree, because even when they had Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose in the match with I think they had Batista in the match as well, when they were doing it was Money in the Bank, and all three of them were in it, and they did the triple power bomb, and they did the whole Shield, and like the crowd went crazy for it. So they're teasing it. Okay. So I think that's the direction that they're eventually going to get into, but I just don't like Chris Jericho being a kind of a side angle to this whole process.
And the way it ended was like, come on, man, really? That's such a waste. And there was 2 fails in this pay-per-view, and this was one of them. So, Lily, what are your thoughts?
Well, I enjoyed the match because I am a Y2J lover, all to be darned. But I do agree that he's the wrong person for this match. If Eric Rowan were healthy, which he is not,
it's still injured.
That's who I would have preferred.
I think Eric Rowan would have been lackluster, because his singles run and his face run, nobody was feeling it.
Right.
So I think that would have been a lackluster choice. Like, people would have been like, eh.
Well, if Eric Rowan were to have filled that slot, I would have just saw like a heel, betray Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose and rejoin the Wyatts or so. That's how I can see that going.
As for an NXT superstar, I tend to agree with David on an NXT superstar, especially if you're saying Samoa Joe, especially seeing that he is a former TNA World Champion. He's got some major clout in the business. And his NXT call-up was very highly publicized, so I don't know why they didn't go with that. But just to give you a little bit of future stuff, Chris Jericho's next match is against Kevin Owens during the Brock Lesnar MSG event. So we are going to see Chris Jericho again, and relatively quickly. I do not like the quasi-face turn. heel turn, but I do like what they're doing with the Wyatts. Now, please, can we put Bray Wyatt in the world title picture somehow, please?
Eventually, and it's gonna be a hell of a run because the way this man cuts promos, it's classic. It's like how during the Rick Rude, Paul Orndorff days, Ric Flair, Hogan, all that, like those guys, they cut their promos like, hey, let them loose, you know what I mean? And to think that he just says, it's all in my head, I can go out there and do it, that's freaking, you don't have that art anymore because all the promos are manufactured, you know? And I think that some folks need time, or they have to own their craft, their character, their in-ring ability, and just how they have chemistry with other personalities on the roster, you know? So right. Eventually they'll put Bray Wyatt in that title scene, and he's young, so he got time. I wouldn't worry. So yeah, so Nelson, your thoughts on Y2J, and I guess you can get the conclusion as to what happened.
Well, I can honestly say I didn't want Chris Jericho in the match. That was a waste of time putting him in, even though I do respect the guy as a wrestler. We should have never been a part of that because that just felt like there was stretching it too thin, and they couldn't really find anyone on the active roster or someone of potential use to actually fight Braun Strowman, because to me that was the whole purpose, was to find someone to take out the big guy. And they didn't really deliver on it. As far as the match goes, it was a typical match because, again, you have Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper. They have very good in-ring chemistry with each other. They always go all out.
Yeah.
Roman
those
Reigns,
super kicks, though. Roman Reigns caught one. Oh,
yeah, but he's always getting fucked up by those kicks, though. But, you know, they got good in-ring chemistry. And the same thing with Bray Wyatt, with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. But again, the Braun Strowman, he's a really interesting guy. I mean, for someone who's his stature and size and a former bodybuilder coming into the WWE, doing what he's doing, it's pretty crazy. I mean, he still has to work on his cutting promos, and he has to work a little bit on, like, you know, like the fuck you kind of approach, because we get that he's strong, but dude, like, pretend to take a bump at least, like,
don't be too stiff. Kane plays that role really well, you know what I mean? You know, Big Show does it well, you know.
Well, because I mean, they've been in the WWE for some time. I mean, Braun Strowman he's still green.
Yeah,
he hasn't really been doing much as of lately, but again, he just has to learn how to take a couple of hits. Don't make him look weak. No, the character is fucking great, but he has to take a couple of hits to the point where, like, all right, I'm not a god. You know what I'm saying? Like, chill the fuck out with it. The conclusion of the match is, you know, they ended up winning.
Jericho just got treated like a rag doll. Like, why you throw him in there just to get fed to slaughter? You know what I mean?
Again, it was Jericho's fault for tagging himself in.
Hot tag.
Reigns was about to deal with the situation. In my opinion,
he cost him the match.
In my opinion, if Roman Reigns would have stood in the ring and Bray Wyatt would have grabbed Jericho instead, I think Roman Reigns probably would have lined up a second spear and won the match.
Yeah, because he that was a textbook spear to Strowman. Like, and like DeMizzo said earlier, Roman Reigns looked like $1 million. You know what I mean? Like, it looked like that cloud has passed over him. That you know, the backlash with the Daniel Bryan thing and everything. So yeah, he was looking great, but you know, Jericho and that hot tag, like, he got excited, went for the lion salt, you know, tried to pin Strowman and got bench pressed. You know what I mean? And then got put to sleep like a little baby with that, you know, reverse rear naked choke. And then friggin' got bodied. It's like, yeah, like, why bring him back if you're just gonna shit on him? You know?
It's like Kevin Hart said in his comedy special. You wanna go night-night? You wanna go night-night? Everybody go night-night.
Yeah, he basically put him into his place.
But here's another bad booking too, and I won't interject any further. How is it, and DeMizzo made mention of this before, John Cena made this mistake. How is it that you got Strowman looking really strong and putting you out, But then when he pulled that pseudo heel turn, it looked like nothing was wrong with him. He needs to sell that better.
Yeah.
Jericho, you know better. You know better.
Right.
But yeah, Nelson.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, the match could have been better if it was a different wrestler in mind. Like, I was mentioning to one of my friends I was in a party chat with when the pay-per-view was on. I was like, they should either have Samoa Joe, they should have someone come from NXT, like an uprising superstar that needed their push. You know, probably The Rock, just because of, you know, Roman Reigns making the call and stuff like that, or someone that we know that can actually fight this guy. Like I was mentioning, like out of a random wild card, just put Brock Lesnar in the fucking match and have Brock fight Braun Strowman. But,
oh my God, that would have been. This is awesome. I'm telling you, that's
it
what
would have been. It would have been funny, but that would have been too weird because Brock Lesnar doesn't fit in the storyline that these wrestlers actually have together.
Yeah, he's on a whole other.
Yeah,
level.
it would have been weird. It would have been very weird. But again, the only other person I would have put was Eric Rowan. You know, just like a fuck you to the Wyatt family in a sense. And then he would have had like some story mode kind of weird power to take out Braun Strowman. Just some weird stupid shit of a storytelling. But again, it is what it was. The Wyatts won, which I'm kind of happy for because they're good storytellers.
Yeah.
They're very good at that.
Yeah, but do you think this feud is over with the Wyatts?
No.
And how does Jericho now play into this?
I think Jericho, again, was just that wild card. I don't think he's actually going to be in the WWE. He's going to just disappear like he always does, do a couple more tours, chill out at his house, and come back when he feels like it.
Okay,
He's
yeah.
taking his little frequent breaks now.
Okay, not a problem, not a problem. Alright, so now moving on.
Is it the last match now?
The second to last.
It's the Roman. It's the Seth Rollins portion of the show.
Well,
Alright.
I mean, you could just double up on this. You don't have to do them individually. It would make no fucking sense.
Okay,
So
so
just like double up and just both will be spoken over on the person's turn.
yes. Alright, so let me add the second portion of this. But John Cena versus Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins versus Sting. I'm gonna give Demizo the floor first, and we'll go in that same order.
Bad booking 101. You would have thought Vince Russo was the one writing this. Because, seriously, it's like, how the fuck does John Cena beat Seth Rollins clean, then after the match, AA him onto the outside, and then you have a fresh Sting get beat by Seth Rollins clean? What the fuck kind of sense does that even make? It's dumb. It's like hey,
Did they bring Sting in to be a loser? Like, it's like
It's
a
like-
freaking waste. Shout out to
like-
Black Dragon, man. That was bullshit.
It's fucking Super Cena syndrome all over again, and it's fucking annoying as fuck. Like I was expecting, like Sting to either win and then get bro kicked by Sheamus, so Sheamus could win the title, and then they would transition into a Sting versus Sheamus feud, and then transition into the Seth Rollins versus the Authority breakup, and like that whole sequence, like Seth Rollins more than held up his end of the bargain. Like, I will not fault Seth Rollins for wrestling his heart out for close to an hour. I will not fault him for that. But like the way it was booked was just so dumb. It was so stupid. Like, I would have rather had him retain both titles than lose the Cena.
Cena's their golden boy. Remember that. He's their golden boy.
Or I would have had him beat Cena and then lose to Sting, because he would have had like a hellacious match with John Cena and had no more in the gas tank for Sting, even after putting up a valiant effort. Because to have him beat Sting cleanly was just dumb. It just defied all logic of both matches. It really did.
And you know what? Before Lily takes his turn, I want to say, shame on you, WWE. Shame the fuck on you. Because you have this legend in Sting, and you're not treating him with respect. You have him job to Triple H, Monday Night Wars, reenactment, or whatever, WrestleMania. I didn't agree with that outcome. I vehemently opposed that outcome. Then, okay, I honestly thought, not just because I'm a Sting supporter, I thought that with the way they were building it up, that okay, this is the title that's eluded him. He never had the chance to compete for it, right? You would think that they would undo the nonsense that happened at WrestleMania, but you have him get beat, decked, or it looked like a critical in WWE 2K15, where you know when you beat up a body part enough and then boom, like you got him on like critical damage, he gets slammed on the Spanish announce table. It's like, oh, Sting got hurt really bad, you know, or when he freaking got power bombed into the turnbuckle, like, wow, where did Seth Rollins go Super Saiyan or get the Sensu beam? You know what I mean? Beating up on Sting like that. Triple H booking, that's not what you do with Sting. I would have had him win the title just like they did for Hogan years back, and then get beat up by like Brock Lesnar or something. You know what I mean? Or not to say Sting get beat up by Brock Lesnar, but you get what I'm saying. He could have lost it somewhere else. You know what I mean? They didn't even give the man like, oh, you're never gonna have this title. And considering how the storyline is gonna go, unless Sting gets a rematch or something, and you got Sheamus floating around, poor booking. WWE's been fucking up on like, and this is fail number 2. It's like, come on now, Sting, you have potential with this. You know what I mean? Even though he's 6 years older than Taker, he still can perform in the ring. You know what I mean? He doesn't show that much of a slowdown in the ring. You know what I mean? So, wow. Cena beats him, then he beats Sting clean? Bullshit. I agree with DeMizzo 110%. But, Lily, your thoughts?
I also agree with DeMizzle, especially seeing that I knew Cena was going to get his win back, because he always gets his win back. We knew that was happening. But please, for the love of God, let Sting win? I mean,
yeah, he has not won a match yet. Come on, come on, that's bullshit.
I mean, he's a shoo-in Hall of Famer. This would have been the cherry on top of the excellent career Sunday that is Sting, and for him to take 2 losses, so 1 loss to a guy that, okay, Monday Night Wars, give him that, even though that was BS, but to lose clean to Seth Rollins when Seth Rollins hasn't won a match clean since he won the title at WrestleMania.
I have a problem with that because I was saying this. I said, you know what? I wanted to like be the guy to start cheering for Seth Rollins. You know what I mean? But I mean, I know he's a great in-ring performer, but the way that they're booking him, it's like, oh man. Booker T even said it on one of the on the last pay-per-view. Like, you know what? You just want to support that guy, but then he hasn't won any of his matches. It was kind of like the whole CM Punk era thing, where like cheating and just, you know, by the skin of his teeth, but your legit win is against Sting? So that's supposed to make all of the other bullshit okay.
No, I think honestly it was the shut up guys like myself in the Twitterverse that say that Seth Rollins is like a paper champion. He still is a paper champion. If not for Kane, he would have lost the title right then and there like he should have.
Yeah, Sheamus was about to cash in. But with that, Nelson, your thoughts, and then we'll bring up what happened at the end, and then we'll end the podcast. But
let's see, the Seth Rollins versus John Cena match, they basically gave it to John Cena because of the fact that, you know, if he doesn't have his title or he doesn't have his like little gimmick, you know, the money is going to go bye-bye because of the fact that the little kids and whatnot look up to him, and some of the young, you know, adolescent females and guys, you know, so they needed that, because mind you, he only did 1 AA to Seth Rollins and he beat him. Like, seriously? Like, are you fucking shitting me? Even after the fucking fact that Seth Rollins did that crazy-ass suplex off the top rope, rolled up and did another one? Like, are you shitting me? And you still gave John Cena the fucking win off of some, like, bullshit? And then the whole thing with Sting, I'll say this much. He beat Sting, but you saw why he beat Sting. The same way how you saw Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker. You seen the fatigue of age. You seen it right there before your eyes, and no one can't tell me anything fucking different. Sting was winded like no fucking other.
Right.
And he couldn't pull himself up. He had to get help, so he had to lose the match. If he would have went on further, he would have been hospitalized. Everybody knows that. So, of course, he had to, you know, just give up. Seth Rollins had to win, period. And, before, I won't mention the final spoilers of that, but it was an overall good performance by Seth Rollins. Do I agree that he always have cheated and never won clean? No, because he beat Dean Ambrose clean with no help and all by himself.
Was that like on a Raw?
That was on a pay-per-view for the title. And Dean lost.
Oh, when he stole the belt and ran off.
Yeah, I remember.
You sure he didn't have help with that?
Nope, no help. I
think that's the pay-per-view I had missed.
I can even go back on record and show the footage off air.
I believe it was the one after WrestleMania. I believe.
Yeah, it might be the pay-per-view after WrestleMania, because that's when Dean Ambrose was starting to get like a hold of the title.
Elimination Chamber, yes.
Yep, there you go. And he beat him fair and square. No bullshit, no nothing. Seth Rollins did the absolute best performance that night. And he won clean. Like I said before, Seth Rollins is not a bad wrestler. They just give him a lot of shit because they need that one dickhead to run with the title. And that's what he's doing. He's running with the title because they need that kind of figurehead. But I'll stop right there, and I guess you'll conclude with
Alright, so with that, New Gaming Order, thank you for joining us for our traditional reaction results show. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. There is another thing that was announced, but I think that's going to be for a later date, because me and Demiz will be here all night. But you know, for the sake of time, Nelson has to go to work tomorrow, so do I. But just any final comments from the panel before we log off?
Fuck the Undertaker. Fuck that event that's coming in the next pay-per-view. Don't want to see old man Taker. I hope when
and here I said this was gonna be on another show, but to respond to that, you don't blame Taker for that. Blame WWE for bad booking.
I blame both, because Undertaker just will not walk the fuck away. So I hope when Brock Lesnar.
Why doesn't WWE build somebody else up to face
I want them to, but I want Brock Lesnar to F5 him and he turn into fucking dust.
That's not gonna happen, dude. You already know that, like, physically that can't happen.
I know, but one can dream.
What I'm saying is, if they had faith in their roster to build somebody else up to be that guy, to stand to Brock, then Taker wouldn't have to be pulled in. You know what I mean?
Which I stated on Xbox. 3/4 of the WWE 2K16 roster are Hall of Famers and legends. That should tell you how much faith they have in the modern day roster right now.
So you can't blame Taker for everything. This is not like blame Obama, blame Obama. Come on, give the guy a break. The one thing is, if these people aren't doing their due diligence, and like, okay, I would have liked to see like a Ryback versus a Brock Lesnar or something.
That wouldn't work.
I'm just saying, this is just throwing some stuff out there. Like, why can't somebody else take the mantle?
Because right now, physically, like, out of all seriousness, there's no one more physically fit right now that can fight Brock Lesnar on a toe-to-toe basis. Unless if you make Big Show cut loose 100%.
Or Kane.
Kane can't do what Big Show can do. Like,
okay.
Out of all seriousness.
And the thing is, with the booking, they made Brock Lesnar to be this super monster heel character, or this, you know what I mean? who are you gonna legitimately, like, even Demiso said, like, back in the day when Taker was healthy, if he had the title, no one could get it off of him clean. They had to do some nonsense to say, hey, this is why he lost.
It's the same thing that could be said about Goldberg.
Well, this is true. Look, they had to do the taser thing to get the title off, the WCW title off of him. It's all about the bookers, not the performers. If they're making a, oh, well, we're portraying Brock like this, who's going to be able to beat him? You're not building nobody else up to stand to the guy. And then when they had the Roman Reigns thing, you saw how the fans shat on it, you know, because there was still Daniel Bryan on the brain. So you can't blame Taker for everything. You don't put him in the Obama category. You know, it's like, if they're doing their job writing, then he can go into obscurity and just say, hey, all right, I'm done. But if they don't have anybody else, hey, like you know, your buddy Bruce Wayne and Dark Knight Returns and how that nonsense went down with, oh yeah, I beat you nonsense. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. I'm done. I'm done because
we're out. New Gaming Order. We're out.
All right, so rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out Demiso's channel. I'll put the information in the description below. And to Lily, thank you very much for being our guest tonight. And we would like to have you back on the next one. So
you will definitely see me next month for Hell in a Cell, or as I like to call it, Steel Cage Challenge, because it's not really Hell in a Cell anymore.
Alright, I got you. And Nelson, any final words, since I know you got to get off? We're going to speed this up.
Just basically what Alex has mentioned. Just please like, rate, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Please follow us on twitch.tv/NewGamingOrder. We also have an official main website, NewGamingOrder.com, where you get to check out the latest news of podcasting, you know, updates of anything that happens with the members, and our Twitch feeds. We have our own each and individual channels and so on. And to capitalize what you just spoke about with this whole Hell in a Cell thing coming up with Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, it is what it is. They're gonna milk it however way they want. Again, this is a corporate world. At the end of the day, they need to make money, and however they see fit, whether if it's in a few fans or, you know, everyone's eyes. It's just like that bullshit. So they're not gonna have Brock Lesnar fight anyone else on the main roster right now. Again, unless if they cut loose certain individuals that can physically fight Brock Lesnar on a toe-to-toe basis. And right now there's nobody except for Big Show and probably not Ryback. I wouldn't say Braun Strowman either, because that wouldn't make any sense.
But that'd be interesting, you know. They gotta have faith in the new people, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the reason why I don't say Braun Strowman, because again, he's not really like had that much wrestling training as much as he has like bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Okay. He's made as a bodybuilder. He's not made to be flipping and diving and taking German suplexes and stuff.
So he's stiff, like Cena's stiff. All
like
right.
he's gonna be one of those big ass characters that's not gonna get hurt for some time until you find like that random superhero razzle dazzle effect that fucking knocks his ass out. But that's pretty much.
Alright, New Gaming Order. With that, we out like the Juggernaut bitch, and we'll see you on the next installment of this special. Alright, we'll see you later. Peace.
Peace.